Buenas tardes a todos. Espero que todos se encuentren muy bien hoy. Para los que no me conocen, mi nombre es Israel Camacho. Antes de comenzar, quiero tomar un momento para agradecer a todos por estar aquí.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. For those who don't know me, my name is Mia Rivera. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude and thank you all for being here.
También quiero agradecer a Pajaro Valley High School, a nuestro director, el señor Tom Wilson, y a nuestra especialista comunitaria, la señora María Aguilar, por apoyarnos en este Town Hall. Mis compañeros y yo organizamos este evento como parte de nuestro trabajo para obtener el sello estatal de participación cívica.
I would also like to thank Pajaro Valley High School, our principal, Mr. Todd Wilson, and our community school specialist, Ms. Maria Aguilar, for supporting our town hall, as my classmates and I collaborated as candidates for the State Seal of Civic Engagement.
Un agradecimiento muy especial para la señora Vega por su liderazgo, su orientación y su apoyo constante durante todo este proceso. Aprendimos mucho todo el tiempo y los consejos que nos ha brindado.
A very special thank you goes to Ms. Vega for leading the way, guiding us, supporting us, and always offering valuable advice throughout this process.
Ahora me gustaría presentar a mis compañeros para que ellos también puedan presentarse.
Now I'd like to invite my classmates to introduce themselves.
All right.
Okay, to begin, my name is David Maria, and I'm a member of this preparing parenting committee of very senior individuals who are sitting in the State Seal of Civic Engagement. I give them the admiration that they deserve for pulling together this whole project and together along the community of Santa Cruz. In this one location, we discuss over the pesticides and affecting our communities from since birth and onwards to their futures, which is going to rehabilitate them and their progress towards being successful individuals.
Go ahead and say your name, Mia.
Yasmin Ojeda. Hello, I'm Emily Lopez.
I'm Ricardo Martinez, local community member. I'm Alexis Diaz. I'm Roy Sanchez.
My name is Adrian Wedam.
I'm Israel Camacho.
Mia Rivera.
My name is Diana Arguello.
My name is Ali Rizzi. Brianna Garcia.
My name is Ruby Ramirez.
My name is Leila Rodriguez Gonzalez.
My name is Jose Contreras.
My name is Jacqueline Ciganos.
My name is Brianna Hermosillo.
My name is Jimena Cázares. My name is Montserrat Don Diego.
My name is Ashley Fonseca.
My name is Saray Ramirez.
My name is Yanira Contreras.
My name is Ashley Martinez.
My name is Jennifer Perez.
My name is Jocelyn Rosales.
And then Israel is going to go ahead and present the panel.
Antes de comenzar, también queremos agradecer a nuestros paneles de órdenes invitados y a los miembros de nuestra comunidad por acompañarnos. Hoy juntos hemos creado este espacio para que nuestra comunidad de Pajaro Valley High School pueda reunirse, escuchar y aprender sobre un tema muy importante, las pesticidas.
Before we begin, we would also like to thank our guest speaker panel and our community members for joining us today. We're excited to have created this space for our Pajaro Valley community to come together, listen, and learn about an important topic, pesticides.
Ahora demos la bienvenida a nuestro primer panelista de la renta de PVHS founder de CORA, el señor Aram Bolaños Cao.
Now let's begin by welcoming our first panelist, former PVUSD board trustee and founder of CORA, Adam Bolaños Cao.
Gracias. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to all the PVHS students, the PVHS staff that's here, Ms. Vega, and I see a lot of teachers, PVHS community, Yesenia from Watsonville Wetlands Watch is here. This is a great high school. I've always had a special place in my heart for PV High. I've spoken on this topic to several of the classes. I've spoken to Mr. Gomez's class. I've spoken to Ms. Harkin's class, Ms. Phantom's class. Phantom was here tonight as well. And so I really want to thank you to the students and Ms. Vega for making this happen. This is a big topic. It's a hard topic to talk about in Watsonville because many of us are here, or our family members came to Watsonville to work in agriculture. My abuelo was a bracero from Oaxaca who worked in Watsonville and Salinas in the 1950s and was also sickened by pesticides and was lucky to be able to leave the industry and start his own business. And so it saddens, and it also frankly angers me to see this problem continue and in some ways get worse, because what we've seen with the boom of strawberries in Watsonville is we've seen more and more of the worst toxic pesticides being used right around our city, right by our schools, and by our homes. And we're a little bit more fortunate here at PV High because we're in the coastal zone here. So most of the farmland behind PV High is fortunately organic, and we have some great organic farms. And I'm sorry, Mireya Gomez can't be here tonight. She's a little sick from Esperanza Community Farms. But if you haven't checked out Esperanza Community Farms, right down the road here, it's an amazing project growing healthy food for our community organically, providing healthy food for our families, and they're expanding. They're working with a co-op of farmers, immigrant farmers, to get more and more markets so they can grow healthy food for our community. So I'm sad she can't be here, but I know many of you are familiar with her work and the fact that she's brought healthy food to Pajaro Valley High School with the Farm to Cafeteria program. So thank you for all your work with that. So, like I said, we know this is not a new problem, but it's very much present. We started CORA because we saw a need for an effort to stop the pesticides and go organic. There are so many toxic pesticides being used in our state, in this region, and one pesticide gets banned and another one gets replaced with another one that's toxic. We have one of the highest cancer rates, childhood cancer rates, in the state of California here, around Watsonville and Santa Cruz County. We have an organization called Jacob's Heart specifically dedicated to helping families who are suffering with a child with cancer. And most of their clients and their families are from Watsonville and Salinas. Well, there's no doubt whatsoever, there's no scientific doubt, we know for a fact that some of these chemicals cause cancer. They cause learning disabilities. They cause respiratory problems. We have a very high rate of students with learning disabilities in Watsonville. It's not just a coincidence. We also have this in Salinas. We've seen studies that have shown this from UC Berkeley and other places. What we need is a change. And the change is going to take a movement. The movement is going to require energy, effort, and maybe a little bit of risk, but nobody has to act alone. We have to act together. We are obviously dealing with a big, giant company. Driscoll's is the largest berry company in the world. They are in 12 countries. They are working in China. They are working in Morocco. The berries they grow here go all over the world every day. They brag about it. In fact, that's how agriculture has become in the United States. They are now in more places in Michoacan, they're in Jalisco, they're in Baja. They're using up a lot of water supplies there, unfortunately. And so we have an agricultural system that is totally geared towards profit. It's coming at the expense of our health, and it's going to come at the expense of our environment. And for what? We need to grow food. This is an amazing climate. This is one of the greatest climates in the world to grow food here in Watsonville, in Salinas. Even Watsonville is a little warmer, and it cools off at night. But if we're going to keep spraying toxic chemicals, it's going to destroy the soil, and we're not going to be able to grow anything someday. So this is also a fight for the future of farming and for the future of our health. One message I've seen from a lot of so-called leaders in community in California, when we're addressing farm worker communities, is that one of the things they've always, and it's ironic because my mother grew up in a farm worker family and she went to college. They tell us, and you've heard this message too, and it's the right thing, is to get an education and get out of the industry, and your parents don't want you to be there. and they want you to have a brighter future, and that makes total sense. At the same time, this system continues, and more immigrants are recruited, and more communities are harmed. So leaving the system doesn't solve it at its core. Going to a great school, getting an education, that's important. We need that, and we support that, and you have great teachers and counselors who are going to help you get there. But stopping this poisoning is going to take a movement. It's not something we're taught usually in school. Some of your teachers, you have a great teacher, Ms. Barrera, from Alvarez High School, she brings a lot of community leaders in Salinas because of her efforts. School is not just about making money and getting a great job. And sometimes we forget that. It's also how do we make our community a better place. And sometimes there's no financial reward in that. There's no, it's just doing the right thing because you know it's the right thing. And this time, our health is on the line. All of our health is on the line. The pesticides drift for miles and miles. The senior village is at play. The students are at play. Everybody's at play. The teachers. Everybody's at risk with this. We have fields right behind Pajaro Middle School. We have fields right by Ohlone Elementary School. We have fields by Amesti. We have fields by Bradley. Driscoll's has a testing facility right across the street from Bradley. I'm told by staff there, we tried reaching out to some of the staff there, and they said, well, Driscoll's gives the parent club $25,000 a year. Driscoll's gives a lot of money to nonprofits, to soccer leagues, to other causes. And one of the effects of that is it's spotting some silence and some fear, not to say anything. But that is what perpetuates this system. So the message, my one message tonight is that we have to find some courage together. It's not about being one hero, finding some courage together to work together to make this change, to put pressure, and help is on the way. More and more people are finding out about what's going on. Omar's going to talk next. He just did a great, important hunger strike. I want to thank Omar for his hunger strike and your leadership in that. Miss Teen California, don't laugh. She's a really smart person. She is a huge supporter of the Center for Farmworker Families. She is bringing a delegation from San Jose to Watsonville. They're going to do a tour. You're all invited. We're going to send some more information about that next Saturday at 11 a.m. We have church groups in San Jose, church student groups, SoCal High, Santa Cruz High. We've been presenting. They want to help out. They do not like what's going on, but we're going to also need some more folks from Watsonville to step up. So this is Barrios Unidos, Unite the Neighborhoods, Watsonville, Santa Cruz, Salinas, all ports, all areas to come together to make this change, and I think we can do it. It's just a matter of time. Thank you very much for being here. Now I'm going to turn it over to the next speaker. Do you want me to introduce the next speaker? Okay, I'm going to bring the next speaker up. Good friend of mine, Barrios Unidos activist. I helped bring him here to PV High a few years ago. Emerging as a leader on this issue and many other issues. Please welcome Omar Dieguez.
1, 2, and 3.
I'm gonna put my shades on not because I'm cool, but because I was sitting here we fought so hard to get into the school. Yeah, the students made it happen. You guys are displaying true leadership. So I applaud you guys for that. You know, it takes somebody to stand up for what they believe in, and you guys are doing that. You guys believe in something, and you guys are standing up and organizing and coming together as students, as family, to stand up for what you guys believe in this community, and that's what we need. We need leaders like you. That's the only way we can make change, by standing up for what we believe in. You know, I've been to many schools to do a lot of presentations, and this map here, we took it with us everywhere, and we showed how more than 13 schools in our district are close to fields where they're spraying pesticides. Some of these fields are divided by a chain link fence. And I used to take these pictures with me that I took of farm workers spraying these fields with pesticides. And in these pictures you see these clouds of pesticides being sprayed and they're drifting away. And I used to ask the students, what do you see in this picture? And they would always point out, those clouds are drifting away. And then I said, and now if those clouds are drifting away, where do you think they drift away? To our schools, to our communities, to our drinking water, to the air that we breathe. And then I was curious when I was taking those pictures the next day to see if any of the farm workers were going to be out there working in those fields. So I drove back out there the next morning at 7 a.m. to see if those farm workers were going to be working there. And they were all out there picking strawberries in those same fields they sprayed the day before. And this is something that happens all the time. This is a reality that we live in. These farm workers have been exposed to these chemicals for so long. And these are the people that provide food for us, that take that food, they're out there working hard in the sun, they're out there working hard long hours. And then I tell the students, now imagine these farm workers are out there they're picking strawberries, whatever crop they're picking. And if you ever seen a farm worker when they're out there working, they're fully dressed from head to toe with bandanas to cover themselves, to protect themselves. Some of them wear gloves. If they're out there picking these crops all day long and they're rubbing these plants with their clothes, with their hands, and at the end of the day when they go home and they get home to their house, who is the first person that runs up to them to give them a hug? Who? I heard it. Their kids. So imagine that. Not only are they getting contaminated and exposed to these harmful pesticides, but they're coming home to their kids after long days of work and they're transferring these chemicals to their kids. And that's not the only way it gets transferred. When they spray these chemicals, they travel up to 7-mile radius. Watsonville is about 10-mile radius. So our community is being exposed every single time. Our whole community, our water, our air, our land. We're in 2025. Driscoll's is a company that has a lot of money to protect our farm workers and to protect our community, and they haven't done anything to protect them. They're still using these harmful pesticides. And when I did this hunger strike, I took on this commitment because I heard Dolores Huerta come down here to Watsonville in May, and she gave a speech, and she talked in her speech how some of these chemicals were the same chemicals that they used in the war, in the gas chambers, that they make these pesticides with. And the other thing she said was that some of those chemicals in other countries around the world, they don't use those harmful chemicals. But here in the United States, we use those harmful chemicals. And then I heard a story of a farm worker that was working in the fields. I forgot who brought that farm worker, but she came out, she gave a story, and she talked about how she already had kids before she had started working in the fields, and those kids were living normal lives. And she became pregnant while she was working in the fields. And when her kids were born, they were born with learning disabilities and birth defects. And when she was working in those fields, she got cancer. And when she got cancer, she had her stomach removed. All because she was exposed to these dangerous pesticides. When I heard those stories and those testaments that Dolores Huerta gave, I've always been an activist, and I always knew that I wanted to do something to protect my community. So I made a commitment to do this hunger strike. And the goal was to bring awareness throughout this hunger strike, to be able to go to schools, to educate our youth, to empower our youth so that they can make change, because every single one of you guys here are leaders. And my job as Elevate Youth Coordinator is to inspire, to empower every single one of you guys, and to awaken the warrior in you to make change for the future. I learned a lot through White Hunger Strike. I learned a lot. I got to meet a lot of different people, a lot of different experts. I got to hear stories from farm workers. And the one comment that I heard over and over again, everywhere I went in this community, was thank you, Omar, for doing what you're doing. And they would say, my mom died to pesticides. My dad died to pesticides. My kids have to go to Stanford to get treatment for cancer. My kids cannot sit in class. They have ADHD, they have learning disabilities. And working in these schools, I've seen all that happen to a lot of the students that I work with. The goal that I had set out to bring awareness while I was on this hunger strike, I think we met that goal. More people know about this problem now. More people want to get involved and make a change. And at every school that I was able to go to, the one thing that I heard after the presentations was, how can we get involved? I didn't even get to come here to your school and look at you guys. You guys took action. That's a leader. You guys are doing great work. I applaud you guys. You guys are leaders. Don't let anybody ever tell you you can't do something. Every time somebody told me I can't do something, I would tell me I can't, and I'll show you I can. I want to take a moment to also recognize Edwin. Edwin, stand up, please. Edwin did 7 days of the hunger strike. And when I heard this, he didn't tell nobody, but when I heard this, I was proud of Edwin for the courage that he took to do that, and to stand up for what he believed in. But we were worried because at your young age, your brain's still developing, so we had to ask him to stop because we didn't want him to anything bad to happen to him, you know. But thank you for stepping up, and for being courageous, and for taking action. Just give him a round of applause. There's a lot that I could go on and on and on about pesticides, and we have a lot of experts up here that could talk about it. And I'm going to let them talk about it. But I'm super proud to see all these students to step up. This is what it's about. You guys are the future, and you guys are doing it already. So I'm super proud of you guys. And I want to thank you guys for allowing me to be here.
Now we're going to hand the mic over to Kathleen Kirkpatrick. She's a Bay Village resident of Watsonville, and we're honored to have her here in the panel.
Okay, so the other thing I am is I was a school nurse in this school district. Worked in healthcare about 45 years. And I actually was here when PVHS first opened, substituting for another nurse who was out. So I spent a little bit of time here, but I spent most of my time at Watsonville High and a whole bunch of other schools. I was all over the place. So, but 30 years ago, I lived in Washington State, and I was in graduate school studying to be a nurse practitioner, but I also took classes in occupational and environmental health. And I worked on a research project in the summertime of children of pesticide applicators in the Wenatchee Valley. And, you know, I just learned about how pesticides spread and the risks and who's most vulnerable. And that is farm workers, pregnant women and children, people with chronic illnesses, the elderly, and since then, scientists have discovered that some people are especially vulnerable because of their genes, and we're learning more all the time about how the timing and the combination of chemicals put people more at risk. And we get a big combination of pesticides living here in the Pajaro Valley. Where we lived up there, we were surrounded by orchards, packing sheds, and pesticides. And after graduation, I did volunteer work in my community on risks of pesticide exposure to farm families and children and how to reduce them. We moved from Washington to Watsonville in 1999, and Woody, my companion, got a job in special ed, and I got my school nurse job. And my boss told me, don't talk about pesticides, the growers run everything here. And my job was kind of a moving target with the school district. I kept getting more schools and more duties, and I had plenty of work to do. But the teachers were concerned. So if you work and live in an agricultural community, you're likely to be exposed, as both Adam and Omar said. Some, like those, organic farmers also use pesticides, but those are the less harmful ones. And what we call conventional agriculture uses more pesticides and more toxic pesticides. And you can't really call it conventional because a lot of those chemicals have only been used for about 50 years. And they encourage because of the way they're used, they cause conditions that create more pests and more diseases. So it's kind of like what they call the pesticide treadmill. Farms get on this treadmill where they have to keep using pesticides and using more and more. Organic farming is expanding in our valley, but Santa Cruz County is still about 80% conventional farms, and the vast majority of toxic pesticides used in Santa Cruz County are used in the Pajaro Valley. The organic farmers use methods like crop rotation and building up their soil health with cover crops and compost, and that reduces the need for pesticides. It also helps prevent floods and saves water. For the school districts in our county, under our County Office of Education, that includes 10 other districts and our 3 Monterey County schools. 98% of the most toxic pesticides are used within the boundaries of the Pajaro Valley Unified School District. Over 10 million pounds from 2019 to 2022, and that's what this map shows. So that big red thing in the middle, that's our school district. And like both Adam and Omar said, pesticides drift. They travel through the air, they get into water, they're deposited on plants and other surfaces, they cling to our soil, they're tracked into our homes. We breathe them, we swallow them, they get under our skin. So everyone is exposed. If you haven't taken one yet, take one of these drift guides that were produced by the Californians for Pesticide Reform, and it'll give you information about what to do, more about drift and what to do if you think you've been exposed. I learned, let's see, where am I? I got re-involved with pesticides because of teacher concerns through my union, the Pajaro Valley Federation of Teachers. And I joined SAS about 15 years ago. I helped found CORA to focus on converting the Pajaro Valley to organic. And at the same time, I started doing committee work with Californians for Pesticide Reform. And through CPR, I learned more about what's happening at the state level and in other communities around the state. If you think we have bad problems with pesticides, the San Joaquin Valley has both pesticide problems and very poor air quality, and they add up to cause disease. So tonight I'm here representing Safe Ag, Safe Schools along with my comadre, Nelly, and highlighting our youth group called Future Leaders of Change, or FLOC. Some things that SAS has helped happen over the years. We helped get pesticide restrictions, buffers, notifications around schools. That's how we got these pictures of the fields and the schools that are on that map. We had a successful campaign to eliminate one toxic pesticide, chlorpyrifos, that was associated with loss of IQ, learning disabilities, ADHD, behavior problems, autism when a pregnant woman is exposed. A key study that helped us with that was called Chamacos, and that was done in the Salinas Valley by UC Berkeley School of Public Health, and it's still going on, and they also engage youth in their programs. One of our former SAS organizers is doing one of those programs now. We fought and are still fighting to set a safer level for one of the fumigants, T-Lone, heavily used in the berry industry. Our school district may have the most concentrated fumigant use of any in the state, and they're all toxic air contaminants, which can cause problems and respiratory problems, and some are also carcinogens. We expanded our school notification campaign to include everyone under the slogan, Stop Pesticide Secrecy, and that got us the Spray Days program run by the state's Department of Pesticide Regulation, also known as DPR. And this bandana has the QR code that will take you there. Sign up. It has its flaws, but we're working on to make it better. We also helped revive a mapping system that uses DPR's pesticide use data to show where pesticides were applied over the last 6 years so far. That's where I got the map with the school district. And you can find those maps it's an easy thing to remember, pesticideinfo.org. And then you can also look up individual pesticides to see what their risks and the harms are. Two of our current campaigns, we're expanding our focus on fumigants to advocate for shifting to alternatives. Berries can be grown without fumigation. They do it in the European Union and also right here in this valley. Our latest campaign is to eliminate other pesticides in the same family as chlorpyrifos. They're called organophosphates, OPs for short. A study released just last month revisited a measure for potential exposure used in the Chamacos study. Pregnant women living within a kilometer, that's about 0.6 of a mile from where they're applied, to see if OPs have gone down after chlorpyrifos was eliminated. But what it found was that they actually leveled off in Monterey County, and that 50% of the women living in that kilometer radius of their use were at risk of exposure during their pregnancy with all those associated risks. And some of you and your mothers may have been exposed during the pregnancy. So if you're having trouble sitting still in class, it could have included you. And so Monterey County is #1 in the state. That's what this green map shows. Santa Cruz County is #4 in the state, and we're a small county. And if you think about it, in Santa Cruz County, where are most of the pesticides applied? Right here in the Pajaro Valley. And some of those women who may have been exposed during the time frame this study was done are also probably working in the fields, or were working in the fields. Okay? Okay. Let's see. So just a little bit more about our Future Leaders of Change group. FLOC started in Greenfield, and we did have a branch in Watsonville, but most of the members have graduated and gone on to college or other useful things. We also have groups in Salinas and I think one other place. We want our youth to become pesticide experts and advocates for the reduction and elimination. Our FLOC youth attend our meetings and have their own. They go to Sacramento to DPR public meetings to lobby. They starred in 2 films on SAS's advocacy work and learn filmmaking skills to make their own shorts on their lives as members of Farmworker Families. they had a red carpet opening at Green Valley's Cinema. You can see those films in your classroom. 2 flock members were recently appointed to DPR's new Environmental Justice Advisory Committee, which was formed by a legislative mandate, another CPR and SAS victory. Nellie is our CPR regional organizer, our SAS leader, and mother duck to her flock. Let's see.
Is this information available on the website?
Yes, more or less, yes. Okay, and I'm an old science nerd. I have some slideshows if you want more information about, learn about more pesticides. And you can also contact Nellie and our flock youth after this panel is done. So do take a look at all these maps and talk about soil health with Woody if you want to learn more about that. So I'm going to introduce Linda.
Yes. If you guys could give Mrs. Kathleen Kirkpatrick a round of applause.
Oh, sorry. I'm not going to be Linda Bravo is a PV High School alumni class of 2020.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Linda Bravo. I'm the Community Engagement Lead for the Center for Farmworker Families. But more importantly, I'm a community member. I'm a PV alumni. I graduated in 2020 and then I went to UC Berkeley where I studied molecular environmental biology with a concentration in human health and the environment. And well, now I'm here. There's a variety of things that inspired me to pursue this in higher education. One of them being that my father was an agricultural worker and he worked as one of the guys who sprayed the pesticides. So he was very heavily exposed during those times. He said that they warned them very little about the effects, but even with the warnings, he didn't have many other options for employment, so that's why he stayed, and that's why a lot of people also stay in these jobs. Other things that inspired me were that, like you guys, I was involved in various groups around high school that focused around the environment and sustainability. And like Adam said, I would encourage everyone here who are high school students and are pursuing higher education to continue and take these stories into these spaces. Oftentimes, we don't get the opportunity to occupy these spaces, and when we do, it's very important to continue advocating for these issues. It's very important to continue telling these stories. Stories are very powerful. Farm worker testimonies are very powerful, and that's what we really advocate for in the Center for Farmworker Families. I know that people here may know farm workers as we live in a community where they are the majority. And so yeah, I would encourage everyone to continue telling these stories. Growing up in Watsonville, I saw that the community was very intertwined with the fields, and I mean, we see children playing in the playgrounds. We see community members walking their dogs every day, and sometimes they're even unaware about the pesticide exposures that they're very susceptible to. And so increasing awareness on this issue is definitely important. If you guys want to get more involved, I would definitely encourage you to come with the Center for Farmworker Families. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities that are very meaningful, and they're very good for the youth to get involved. I think your voices are very important. A lot of people really like to hear the youth stand out or stand up for what they believe in. Like Adam said, there's a lot of students from even the greater Santa Cruz County who want to get involved in advocating for these issues. And I think it'll be great to form a community within everyone. And you don't have to be an expert to get involved. You simply just have to care enough to do something, to act. And I think that's the most important thing as well. Yeah. Thank you.
And now we're going to turn it over to Providence M. Alanis, part of CORA and Safe Ag and Safe Schools.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I can't hear you guys. Hi. Hello. Wake up, everybody. So, my name is Providence, like you all know. My daughter was exposed to pesticide when she was only a little girl. And now there's consequences to that. So she doesn't sleep well, she doesn't breathe well. And now I have to take her to Stanford all the time. And I have to stay up at night with her because she can stop breathing at any time. And it's really scary when you're sleeping and somebody next to you can't breathe. And you don't know when they're going to take their last breath. So as a parent, I was pissed. But guess what? I'm also a farmer. So, and I'm a farmer for Driscoll's. So let me tell you, Driscoll's doesn't allow us to become organic growers. They said they did, but they don't. That's a lie. It's also a lie because they make you spray certain pesticides. They test our soil so that we are doing what they say. They watch us with the drones when we're doing this. So we're not free to do as we please. As a grower, I wish I wouldn't have to, but we spray a lot of pesticides. And it's, like I said, I'm a farmer, so I'm giving you this firsthand. I know what's up. I know what they're doing. And what they're doing is not right, because I asked already more than once if I could be an organic farmer, and they said no, I couldn't. They wouldn't even take a chance. Not even explaining to me why. No, it's just no, that's not available, and that's it. So that made me even more pissed. So I said, okay, then we're going to do something about this. So I called Adam. Adam was my really good friend. So I said, Adam, we need to do something about this. This can't continue. We need to shut this down. And then I found out about all these people that have been affected, and I met all these people through the Farmers Families, and it was really sad. All the kids that are born with body parts missing, with no ears, with missing eyes, missing fingers, missing arms, missing toes. Even when you go to the bathroom, it's missing sometimes. They have to have a little bag right here on the side of their little stomach. It's really sad. Really, really sad. Because these kids are the kids of farm workers. Farm workers are the hardest working people in this community. And they're the lowest paid. And on top of that, their kids are going to get sick. And they have to be going and coming to Stanford, going and coming. We have the highest percentage of kids with cancer in this area. I don't know if you guys have any family members that have had cancer or that died from cancer. Anybody here? Nobody has? There's a lot of people that have family members, or you know somebody, your neighbor, your friend who's had a family member. There's a lot of people here that have cancer. A lot of kids have cancer. We even have a St. Joseph's office here because of how many kids we have with cancer here. Our percentage is 35% higher than the state. That's how many more kids we have here in Salinas. If you look on a map, I don't know if they brought the map, but there's a bunch of little pins in this area than the rest of the state. So yes, it's heavy here, and it's serious. So there's a bunch of leaders like you guys, right? There's this group that's called Flock. They're the future leaders of change. And I want Watsonville to have their own future leaders of change. I want to encourage you guys to become that group that is going to be working together with the group from Salinas, which some of the members came today. And I want to introduce them to you guys because I want you guys to get firsthand from them. So we have Santiago Torres, Camila Torres, and Africa Torres. Can you give them a round of applause? And Rocio Ortiz, because I know that she came back already. She's from Watsonville, but come on up here. Please. Don't be shy. Come on over here. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. And I want you guys to, like, when we're done with the presentations, come up here, introduce yourselves to them, you know, be friendly. These kids are from Greenfield originally, but they meet everywhere. They come to Watsonville all the time. I mean, they're in it for the long run. So these kids are amazing, just like you guys, and I admire them. And I want to get to know all of you also, and I want to admire you guys too. So let me give this to Santiago.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Santiago Torres. I am a senior at the Greenfield High School. I come from a small rural town called Greenfield that's down south in Monterey County. I come here as a co-founder of the Future Leaders of Change, which was founded by a group of youth activists that could be you guys as well, that were introduced to the dangers of pesticides. And one of our main goals and motives is to encourage other youth to get involved as well and stand up for their community. Because how one amazing lady once told me, there is a strong power that is inside of you guys, and that is your voice, and no one else could take that power away from you guys. So you guys should use that power. And I would like to introduce another one of my colleagues here, Camila Torres.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Camila Torres. I am an 8th grader at Vista Verde Middle School, and I am part of a youth activist called Future Leaders of Change. And since our creation, we have sponsored 2 bills, and I will be talking about those bills right now. Our first bill was AB 652. It was about putting buffer zones around schools close to fields. The workers that sprayed pesticides can spray pesticides during school hours from 6 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. Our second bill is AB 1862, which is about having exact locations when pesticides are going to be sprayed, where, at what time. It is called Spray Days, and you could put 10 locations near fields to protect yourself and your families, and your abuelito and your abuelita. It was signed by Damian Connolly. Lastly, we are dedicated to continue the fight, and if anyone is interested, for more information, we'll be outside to answer your guys' questions. Thank you, everyone, and I will be passing it on to my peer, Africa Torres.
Hi, my name is Africa Torres. I'm a 6th grader at Cesar Chavez Elementary School in Greenfield, and Flock has been around, worked with Wahini, LULAC, MST, CPR, SAS, and several other organizations. And I'm going to pass it on to my peer, Rocio, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rocio Ortiz. I'm a CSUMB student. I'm a second year studying environmental studies with a minor in pre-law and minor in global studies. And I'm very excited to be here with every single one of you. Just like I graduated from Watsonville High School, and I came here at Pajaro Valley High School for 1 year. And I'm very excited for all of you guys, because just like all of you guys, I also got my CO of Civic Engagement, and it opened so many doors for me, and I'm very proud of all of you guys that are here today. And yeah, never, like Santiago said it perfectly, like always follow your dreams and always follow what you want. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. So I'm very proud of you guys. Yo soy Rocio Ortiz, soy cofundadora de Future Leaders of Change y soy estudiante en la Universidad de Monterrey Bay. Estoy estudiando estudios ambientales y tengo un minor en leyes. Y sí, estoy muy emocionada por todos ustedes, porque como ustedes, yo empecé mi senior year también haciendo activism con Flock, y estoy muy emocionada que ustedes también están empezando.
I didn't realize that we should have translated into Spanish, pero para que podamos decirlo en español. So nada más lo último, the last thing I'm going to say to you guys is that there was a resolution that was written by me, but representing all the parents of the PVUSD. So if you guys can go and tell your parents to sign this petition that supports the resolution and to come out to the board meetings, that would be a very much appreciated gesture from you guys, okay? Because we need the support. You need to sign the petition. Now I'm going to introduce none other less but Nelly Martinez. My compañera. She's a badass. So, she's coming up here right now, 1 second. She's the Safe Ag and Safe Schools organizer, and she's a true leader. Here she is. An applause for her.
Hello everyone, ¿cómo estamos? Ay no, ¿cómo estamos? Ya ven, me dejaron al final. They gave me the last spot because they know that I was gonna kind of pump you guys up. I know you guys are tired. I'm tired of sitting down. So, si quieren, muévanse, sacúdense, lo que quieran. ¿No? ¿No se van a sacudir? No? Don't be afraid, you won't get in trouble. Miss Vega is not gonna get you in trouble. I know, shake it off. So, like Provi mentioned, my name is Yaneli Martinez. I am the community organizer with Safe Ag Safe Schools. And so it's been around in Monterey County and Santa Cruz County for many years now. I just came to this job back in 2017? No, actually 2020 or 2021. I can't even remember anymore. But literally, I get paid to do something that I love so much, which is fighting for justice. Like, who wouldn't want to get paid for doing that, right? And so my colleagues up here, they all gave you the spiel of basically pesticide harms and whatnot. And yes, our communities are highly affected by pesticides. I just wanted to ask all of you here, a show of hands. How many of you have parents working out in the fields, or you yourself work out in the fields? Yeah? ¿Cuántos tenemos que trabajan en el campo, nuestros papás? Yeah? So obviously we all know, do they get paid good? I can't hear you. Do they get paid good? No. What about the treatment that they get from their mayordomos? Is it good? No. I can't hear you. Is it good? No. Okay, so think about all those factors. The pay, the treatment. Not only that, you heard it today, they're being poisoned. And not just their farm workers. All of us in these communities, predominantly communities of people of color. That's us, right? Show of hands. Who's living in these communities? People of color? Yep. Yeah, that's us. We are the ones being poisoned. Every single one of you here is being poisoned. And so when you think about environmental racism, have you heard it before? Show of hands. Okay, some of you, right? Environmental racism. Think about that. Look around the room, everyone. Des una vuelta, miren alrededor. Do you see anything different in this room? No? Nothing? Well, right now, what you guys are looking in this room, all of us, this is what environmental racism looks like. Because we are the ones being poisoned. Like Omar mentioned, yes, you heard it from Dolores Huerta herself, the legend, that pesticides were created by Nazis. They were created, but some of the pesticides were created by Nazi scientists. Why? To attack the enemy. They're not allowed in war anymore. You hear about all these different wars happening in the world, right? The United Nations said they're not allowed anymore, you cannot use them, but guess what? They're using them right here in the Pajaro Valley, in the Salinas Valley. How does that make you feel? I can't hear you. How does that make you feel? That is environmental racism. That's what makes me mad. Why? Because I don't live in a beautiful home in Carmel or the mountains in Santa Cruz. I live in Greenfield, California. Yo nací en Mexico. I was born in Mexico. My parents brought me here when I was only 4 years old. So me trajeron. No me pidieron mi opinión, ¿verdad? But this is my home. And this is the home I'm raising my children and the future generations. And we are stuck. And so our job, all of us here, is exactly what Santiago mentioned. You have something so powerful that nobody could take away, and that is your voice. So I want to hear you loud and clear. You have something so powerful, and what is that?
Our voice.
No. The way you said it right now, I could go around and take all of your power, and I could be so powerful. So I want to hear you loud and clear. What is your power?
Our voice.
No, I can still take it away, no? Let's see who's louder. This side. What is your power?
Our voice.
I can't hear you. What is your power?
Our voice.
Okay, they're doing good. Over here, listos. What is your power?
Our voice.
What is your power?
Our voice.
Oh, you guys can beat that. Come
Yeah?
on. Come on.
So, ¿quién ganó? What do you think?
Give him another chance.
All of you together now.
Yes.
Okay? What is your power? Yes. Say it louder so the teachers in the back and the teachers outside can hear you. What is your power? And by doing this forum today, because it wasn't Omar, right? It wasn't Miss Vega. It wasn't the principal. Who made it happen?
Students.
Who made it happen?
Students.
Just imagine that. You guys made something so powerful. If you continue doing that, you guys could take over the school board. Damn right, right? You guys could take over the city council. Don't you want to be council members and mayors?
Future leaders.
Yes, we do, right?
Yes.
We want to give fair pay to our parents, more housing, eliminate pesticides, dream big. I see in this room right here, future mayors, council members, activists like Omar, nurses like Kathleen, badasses, sorry Ms. Vega, like Broly. That's what I see in this room. And so part of the work that SAS is doing, my colleagues already said it all, we're fighting the good trouble. I love it when I get called troublemaker. I'm like, so, say it again, dime otra vez. I am a troublemaker because every time I fight, I'm fighting for my ancestors. I'm fighting for my mother who passed away from dementia because she worked all her life out in the field up until she got sick at the age of 56. That is not normal. Show of hands, who wants to lose their mom when your mom is 56 years old? No, that's their prime. We need to give them a better future, and the way we do that is by fighting back. And I'm not saying go out there and beat somebody, physical fight, no. I'm saying use your voice. Come to these meetings, go to the school board meetings, go to the council meetings, and also go and fight the people that could make changes, because believe it or not, there is people that can make these changes. Do you want to know who they are?
Yeah.
You want to know?
Yes.
Did you know that Santa Cruz has an ag commissioner and Monterey County has an ag commissioner? He is entitled to do his job. He works for us. Santa Cruz County Ag Commissioner, his name is, and Edwin, you were there. Do you remember his name? And Omar, you were there? Oh, no worries. I know, I just gave him a break today. He's tired. Do you remember Omar, his name? Mr. David?
I don't remember.
Mr. David Sanford. Say it with me.
David Sanford.
Yes, and he could make changes when it comes to pesticide regulations in Santa Cruz County. So don't tell me that there's nobody that can save us. We save ourselves, but we also need to be active and we need to fight back. And that's meeting with the ag commissioner, not asking him politely, no, demanding that he stop the immediate use of fumigants, right? That he stops poisoning our communities.
That's right.
Yes?
You guys are the ones that are going to make this happen.
Yes.
Yes.
And second person or second body of government that we could go to, that they work for us even though they say they don't, that is DPR at the state level, the Department of Pesticide Regulation. Say it with me. DPR.
DPR.
Louder. DPR.
DPR.
Yes, they listen to us when they want to. But we don't ask. Do we ask you, future leaders of change?
No.
No, we've asked politely in the past. Hey, can you meet with us? No, not today, sorry. No. Now we're in their faces saying, you, DPR, I'm not saying you, don't attack her, okay? She doesn't really work for DPR. But we go and we say, hey, you work for me, and I want you to protect my parents, my future generations, so do your job. That is what we're supposed to be telling them. So there's hope. Like the youth mentioned, they have passed legislation, and we continue to advocate. And I know the youth, all of you got that form that the youth passed around. Show of hands if you got it. There's gonna be a big event happening because like Kathleen mentioned, Omar Provi mentioned, we are fighting giants, right? And right now, our biggest fight is against 13D and the racist regulation that DPR has brought forward, their policy. And so we've tried, we've protested, we've acted nicely and politely, and they still don't want to listen to us. So this is our way of mourning. But we're not just gonna sit back and cry. We're gonna fight back. We're gonna have a news conference. It's a statewide news conference, and it's gonna start in Watsonville. So we're bringing it to your hometown in La Placita, And we're gonna be there on, what day does it say in the paper?
November 18th.
I can't hear you.
November 18th.
Yes, and I know it's during time that you're gonna be in school, so if your parents will allow you, just let me know, contact me, we can talk to your parents. In the past, you do get community hours to do that, but we don't want to encourage anybody. Ms. Vega, I'm not encouraging them to miss school, no, no, no. Just send your parents. Manda a la vecina. Manda al señor que te hace las tortas. O tu amigo el paletero. Tell them to hang out over there, that we're going to be there. And we have a lineup of wonderful speakers. One that you already know, he's over there. Right there. Mr. Omar. He's going to be one of the powerful speakers. Yes, give it up for Omar. But that day, we're calling out the state, the ag commissioners that don't act on behalf of us, protecting us with this cancer-causing fumigant, which is called 1,3-D, and they use it highly in what Mr. Woody and Teacher Anna have in their t-shirts, and you all see it everywhere as you're walking home, the strawberries, right? So it's a huge burden here for Pajaro Valley and other communities. So we really want to use our voices. And I know I don't want to go overboard with my speech and whatnot, but that's who I am. I'm a troublemaker, so you're not chingona. I don't care if you me regañen. But I'm not going to live forever. I'm not eternal. I wish. If you guys know how I can live eternal, let me know. But the person that needs to be here and holding this mic is the future generations, and that's every single one of you. You need to take my spot, and you need to be able to open doors that all these activists back here have tried for many years, and we have always heard no, 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 no. Are we going to continue to allow that?
No.
Can't hear you?
No.
Okay, see, I love that now. And so with that said, I will close out, but I do want to recognize, yes, I want to recognize, and I want you guys to look at our SAS members. So all our amazing SAS members that we have here today, can you please stand up? Including my boss, Mr. Mark Weller. Hey, 2 members right there are not standing up. I'm going to call you out right there. And those members in the back that she's standing, show of hands, SAS members. Yes. Mr. Torres, thank you. Wes, our cameraman, is also a SAS member. And SAS is a huge family, and we welcome you with our arms wide open. Cuando entras a SAS, ya eres familia. So, SAS, ahí estás, ¿verdad? So with that, thank you very much. Oh.
And now we want to introduce Mr. Sandino to come and speak out.
Hey, thank you very much. I didn't have anything prepared. Martha kind of just asked me last minute, but I just wanted to express how proud of all of you I am. I see some of my former students in this crowd, and I just want to echo what they said. I see future leaders. I see future teachers. I see future politicians. I see future CEOs. I see people that are going to rise to great heights, and the only thing limiting you is your dreams and your power and your commitment to do what you want to do. I spent my formative years, I was lucky enough also to get paid to fight for justice. I worked for the Watsonville, I worked for the Resource Center for Nonviolence for a decade of my life after college, and I found so much just joy and happiness and a sense of accomplishment. And every time I looked myself in the mirror, I felt really proud about like who I was and what I was doing, and just like the struggle for justice. It's a lot of hard work, but there's so much joy and power to be found there, and so many rewards that it's not about the money, you know, like no one fights for justice for the money. If we were fighting for justice, if we were fighting for the money, we'd be like CEOs and shit, right? We'd be the pendejos spraying the pesticides. But no, we are the community that has always had to fight back for the dignity, for the respect, for the standard of living that we deserve. You know, like no one deserves to be poisoned so that other people can become even richer than they already are. That is just such a disgusting idea. And I'm so proud of all of you. I want to just thank Ms. Vega for taking on this project. You know, like what Omar said, you know, like shout out really. I tell my students the same thing that Omar said earlier. When someone tells you you can't do something, you just look them right in the eyes, you know, just say, "Okay, watch me," you know, like that's what you got to do sometimes. When they try and put roadblocks in front of you, you got to overcome them. And like I wasn't able to do that with my process working through the system. You know, sadly, this issue is too controversial to talk about in the schools and during class time. And I'm so proud of you all for saying, like, no, we're going to do this regardless of what the powers that be say. So, yeah, you all really deserve that round of applause. Yeah. Now, none of us would be here today without all of you sitting in these first couple rows. And again, I'm just so proud of you all. I'm an ethnic studies teacher here at PV High. I'm very proud of our ethnic studies program in the Pajaro Valley Unified School District. We have ethnic studies English classes, art classes, and history classes where we teach about social movements and we teach about advocacy and we teach about how, you know, oppression requires communities to respond. And like, this is y'all responding in such a beautiful way through education, through your words, through information, through sharing of stories. This is how we fight back against the powerful, through organizing and through like sharing of stories in community. So I don't want to just keep repeating myself, but like, I'm just so stoked to be here, and I'm so stoked for all of you that have taken on this challenge. And I hope this don't stop, you know, like don't sit down and expect other people to pick it up. We're all looking at you like, thank you, you know, like we're looking at you like, man, I want to hand off the baton, you know, I got my own kids to worry about now, but like, I can rest easy knowing that people like you are the future of this community. So just, y'all rock and keep it up. Thank you very much.
Lo que quería decir, gracias a todos que están aquí, el estudiante Israel, ven para acá. Israel Camocha, dales un aplauso por favor. He read the newspaper. Él leyó el periódico de lo que estaba haciendo Omar. Y les estaba diciendo del sello, the State Seal of Civic Engagement. Y él dijo, mira, ¿lo puedo hacer en eso? Pues sí, ¿por qué no? ¿Verdad? Le decía, ¿usted piensa que estuviera estudiantes disponibles para ayudarme? I'm like, claro que sí. So, empezamos con quién dijo.
We started with our 6th period.
Sí, pero con name.
We started with Ruby and
Yeah.
I'm sorry guys. It's been a long night for me.
Corrió la voz, right? Nos dimos cuenta que Ricardo and Edwin, vengan para acá. That you guys were also part of it. ¿Verdad? And then, okay, everybody else, todos los estudiantes, vengan para acá. And then little by little, la voz corrió. And they're like, hey, can we help? And it's still today, right now, they're like, hey, we're playing volleyball. Hey, we're playing flag football. Hey, we're in a meeting, but can we, yes. I'm all, sí, Israel. Vénganse para acá, vénganse. So, I'm only the advisor, the teacher, but they're the ones that did all the work. ¿Verdad? Denles un aplauso, por favor.
Now to end it off, I wanted to thank Isabella for always being there, advising us the way and always supporting in everything we do. She never says a no to nothing, and she always says everything is possible. Also wanted to thank all the students for being here, supporting me, and everybody who came out tonight. Thank you.
Los estudiantes encargados del sonido, a ver, vengan para acá, vengan para acá.
With the sound.
I want to see you guys at school board meetings, and then I want to see you guys as board members. I know that some of you watch. I know I'm going to see you guys sitting there making the decisions. You know, taking everybody that's there comprehensively.
Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. I'll give a special thank you to the students, parents, families, panel members, ranchers, companies, and organizations who came out to support this event. We know how busy your schedules are. Your presence here truly means a lot. Your questions, ideas, and discussions we have during this town hall brought valuable new perspectives to the conversation. We really appreciate your time and input as we continue working on our state seal civic engagement project. Please stay involved and connected as we move forward with this important project.
Don't forget to go say your name, introduce yourself to the future leaders over there that are over there, the people sitting on the chairs over there, the youngsters. So don't be shy, be friendly, welcome them to Watsonville, this is our town, but they're welcome here, and make sure you guys are nice and friendly. Okay?
You guys are always welcome here.
Thank you.
Otra cosa que quería comentar era que los estudiantes querían tener un espacio porque era la primera vez that you've heard about it. And they're like, we want to learn. We want to hear what the panel has to say. And then in class tomorrow, they're going to be discussing and deciding what are the next steps. ¿Verdad? I think tonight you guys are going to connect with the students, ¿verdad? And information. And so it was beautiful that you guys saw history in the making, right? It was just, it blossomed, and so.
Buenas noches a todos y muchas gracias por acompañarnos esta noche. Quisiéramos expresar más sincero agradecimiento a los estudiantes, padres, familias, miembros del panel, ganadores, empresas y organizaciones que vinieron a apoyarnos en este evento. Damos lo ocupado que está la agenda de todos y su presencia aquí realmente significa mucho para nosotros. Las preguntas, ideas, conversaciones que compartimos durante nuestro foro comunitario aportaron nuevas y valiosas perspectivas. Su participación y su contribución son fundamentales mientras continuamos desarrollando nuestro proyecto del sello estatal de participación cívica. Una vez más, gracias por tiempo, su apoyo y su compromiso con este importante proyecto. Les animamos a que sigan involucrados y concentrados mientras avanzamos juntos.
Microphone, microphone. Microphone.
A ver, tenemos el stage allá en el, up on stage. Right. You guys get up on stage for me.
Ready?
Can I get one picture with everybody's fist in the air?
Okay, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So I took 3 with this one. Now with this one. 1, 2, and 3.
Ready? Ahí les va, 1, 2, 3.
And now this one. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Una más.
Let's say sas.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, uno con mi teléfono también, por favor.
Yes.
You got